Maybe you guys all shut up. I don't hear anything. Yeah!
All right, there
That's
we
how
are.
I do it on accident.
Welcome to episode 33 of VCR Redux, where we take your favorite franchises out of the analog era and bring them back to 2021. I'm your host, pop culture punk Chris Stiles, joined as always by my co-host with the most, film professor Ian Klink.
How you doing, everybody?
And we have two radical guests on the show tonight. First up, our own honorary third host from Rick Barth and the Line. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. Mickey Torres is on the show.
What's up, everyone?
And rounding out this righteous crew, he's a studio engineer for Dairy Public Radio and a musician from the alt-rock band Giallos. Devin Alexander is on the show.
Yes, Devin.
Hi, thanks for having me on the show, you guys. I appreciate it. And for a movie that I love.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on, and I'm very, very excited to get into it. But before we get into our official VCR business, I want to take a second to throw a special shout out to our friend Corey Gomez over at Hardcore Graveyard. In addition to lighting it up in countless VCR live chats, Corey's page is the main reason anyone has ever found any of my mashups at all. He has a new podcast, Facebook page, YouTube channel, and he even has a new show coming out with our very own Mickey Torres. So be sure to check out Hardcore Graveyard and give them a follow and a subscribe. Throw a little support their way. But at any rate, we are here today to dig up the ghost of VCR past, present, and future, because the time has come to pay our respects to Richard Donner's Scrooged. But before we can get Frank Cross back into undead action, we need to talk about how Scrooge came into our lives and what we love about it. We'll start with Devin, but that also goes for you guys watching at home. Hit us up in the live chat with your Scrooge stories, and don't forget to hit us with those crucial details like if it was cable, rental, VHS, theaters, or Laserdisc. We want to know. So, Devin, how did you first see Scrooge?
Let's see. Had to have been on TV. Had to have been obviously around the Christmas season, but honestly, I can't remember a time in my life where Scrooged was a movie that I didn't know about. That's how long ago. I probably saw it close to when it came out, but I would have been like, 6 or 7. No, because it's 88. So it came, I would have been 4, but I'm sure I saw it probably around the time of Ghostbusters 2. So it's one of those movies that I saw for the first time young enough that every time I've seen it since then, I get more of the jokes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I could definitely,
and like,
yeah.
and like things hit me differently. But I revisit Scrooged probably every 3 or 4 or 5 years because I'm like, oh, Scrooged. And so I find it, whatever it's on, like a VHS tape or a DVD or a Blu-ray or now just streaming and all that. And I think I appreciate it more every single time.
I could definitely relate to that, especially understanding more of the jokes. I don't know if I got any of the jokes when I was a kid watching it. But Mickey, Ian, do you guys remember first times watching Scrooge?
For me, something tells me that I saw this in theaters. I'm not exactly sure, but I think I saw this in theaters.
Is this Mac Daddy Mickey?
Get
in the
out of
early
here.
years?
No,
Mickey
no.
saw this in the theater. Get out of here.
Yeah.
No.
No. That's before the
I'm
dating.
telling you, like
before the
8-year-old,
dating.
9-year-old Mickey, he had a date on this movie.
But I think I did see this in theaters, and if not, I definitely saw it like during the holidays on like HBO or whatever the case may be. And it's a movie I watch every year for Christmas. This is in my rotation. This, Fred Claus, the list goes on. I watch this every year.
I still have to see
Fred
Fred Claus. I always forget that that's
so
a movie. I
good.
kind of like, my brain lumps in with Elf and like this the 2000 Christmas comedy category.
Yeah.
But not to
There's
get too off track.
Mickey, a guy in Ohio, and some guy named Ted watch Fred Claus for the holiday season.
Oh, his name is not Ted, it's Todd.
Todd.
There's always a
Total
Todd. There's always a goddamn Todd.
All of Vince Vaughn's family watches Fred Claus every year.
No, even his family didn't watch it, Mickey. Knock it off.
I celebrate Vince Vaughn. I watch that, and then I watch Four Christmases.
Four Christmases I actually like. That one is actually a good one. I will give you that.
8th grade me will forever be a huge Vince Vaughn fan. Swingers is just like that movie forever till I die. But getting back on the track of Scrooge,
You
Ian,
are
remember?
you are a character from Swingers. So I remember this vividly. Like I remember we actually went to the Humboldt Theater. My mom and dad took me in, what was it, 88?
Yeah.
Right. So I remember seeing it in theater, and here's why. My vivid memory of the movie is after we watched it, I went home. And there's the famous shot with the hand that comes behind, the skeleton hand comes behind Bill Murray on the TV. I had a skeleton Ghostbusters toy that was a skeleton, and I remember taking my Peter Venkman Ghostbuster toy and that skeleton toy and reenacting that scene. I don't know why I reenacted that. That was like the coolest part of the whole movie, but I absolutely 100% vividly remember coming back from the theater of seeing Scrooged and reenacting that scene. So yeah, 88 in the theater, Humboldt, Iowa. And then, always on rotation. That's one of those, comedy. We'll talk about this later, I'm sure, but the, comedy Christmas movies are great. I mean, whether Scrooge, Trapped in Paradise, Home Alone, Fred Claus. I mean, any of these classic holiday movies that you pop on, comedy and Christmas just work perfect.
That they do. Ernest Saves Christmas, another one. Another one of the best of the series. Just a
Pee-wee's
fantastic.
Christmas. Pee-wee's Christmas.
Oh, the Christmas special.
Oh, the Christmas special.
Well, there was a couple. I think. Didn't he do a couple Christmas specials, or was it just the one?
Well, he did the newer one, the holiday one.
Oh, okay. Well, not to get too off track there. I do want to tell people about my first time watching Scrooge, but before that, I do want to touch on the live chat, of course. Surprise, surprise. Some names I recognize in there. Alex Bonafante says it's beginning to smell a lot like Festivus. Thanks for tuning in, Alex. Always great to see your name in there. Also, I see two halves of the mashup genius duo, Angie and Mike Saunders. Hello from both of them. Thank you guys both so much for tuning in. And also, Alex Bonafante says, 2 Scrooge, 2 Humbug. And Twyan Lannister in the chat says, what is up? Oh, I remember seeing this on HBO and catching pieces of it at a time. Oddly enough, as much as I surfed HBO, I don't ever really remember watching Scrooge that way. I'm sure it was on there a lot. For me,
yeah, it definitely was.
Oh yeah.
There are certain tapes that like you just feel like you're born into, even though the movie probably didn't hit tape till 89, if it came out in 88 or maybe late 88, whatever.
It probably
so I was 4, so yeah, not to drag ass with my story, but I was 4 or 5 years old with it. 4 or 5 years old when it came out. So it's just one of those tapes that I don't even remember the first time watching it. I just remember watching it so many fucking times. It's like Predator. Like I don't even really remember the first time I watched it, but I can probably like lock down like the second or third, vivid memory of it. And again, I don't even think we watched it around Christmas time back in the day when it was still fresh. It was just like, oh, this is a great Bill Murray movie. We watched it because we love Bill Murray. I don't think I got any of the jokes, really, at least not. I rewatched it today, and I'm like, yeah, I definitely didn't catch a lot of these when I was really young.
Yeah.
But Bill Murray just had that kind of charisma and star power at the time that, like, you just throw him in like a competent movie, and it's gonna fucking totally be great. And not to say the movie's not more than competent, but competent in the sense that those jokes aren't working because I'm too young to understand them. So then it becomes just like, I don't know. I almost compare it to like The Golden Child. Like mentally, I store it away there. It's like another one that I watched it like religiously on VHS.
I want the night.
Oh my god, yeah. And
my dear brother Doomsy.
You watch, yeah. Oh my god. And you watch these movies later, and you see some of the flaws in them because no movie's perfect. But you're like, oh man, I still, this passes the test somehow. Still, even though
I don't think at that age you needed to get the jokes to just the entirety of the movie was just fun and awesome.
Yeah. Especially the Carol Kane scene.
Yeah, it's like Ghostbusters, right? Like we all watch Ghostbusters. It's not until you're 14 or 13, all of a sudden you see that floating ghost scene and you go, oh, oh, like you know, it's you don't get it when you're 8 years old. Like you don't have
You
to.
kind of do, though. I feel like you kind of do. I don't know. Maybe I was a fucking.
A lot of the
freaking 8-year-old.
Anybody that wears a shirt like that would get that scene. All right, but
This is
Yeah,
the debut of my new blue here on VCR Redux. I finally got a blue Hawaiian that fits me, sort of.
the debut and the day it died. But like you don't have to get those jokes. And I'm trying to think, like, from Scrooge, I get the Kama Sutra book. Like, and we none of us got that, but I love the
totally
joke
didn't
now.
get that.
But I love the joke now. Like, oh, I tried that. Oh, I did that.
Yeah.
Like those jokes you totally get as you get older.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's just Murray being awesome, being charming Bill Murray that, you'd watch almost in any movie. That's vintage. It's almost like this is one of the last pieces of that old school Bill Murray,
The ad lib Bill Murray. Cause like, I mean, I don't know how much of this like was, I mean, I didn't do any kind of research or I haven't read up on this movie to know of how much of his dialogue and scenes were ad lib, because he was notorious for that. There you go. There you go.
Oh,
Let
my
me know
God.
when you're ready. Let me know when
Devin,
you're
we
ready.
are ready. We are ready.
Let me
Devin,
know
we
when
are
you're
ready.
ready for some hot takes.
Let's
Yes.
do this.
There you go. Now, before we get there though, did you guys see the original?
Freaking Mickey, damn it!
I just
Wow.
had one question. Did
That
you
sounds
guys see
awesome.
the original?
Hold that thought, though. Yeah.
Did you guys see the original Christmas Carol before this movie?
I
Yeah.
I would say this is the first experience of A Christmas Carol I got, but I will say this: nothing to me will ever compare to the Alistair Sim version of A Christmas Carol. That's the one I love. That to me, I watch that one every Christmas. If I prefer a version of A Christmas Carol, I don't know if you guys have a version that you like, but if it's not Alistair Sim or Muppet Christmas Carol,
Muppet Christmas Carol.
it's Scrooge. That's
That is
one
like the most sailboat Chardonnay thing I've ever heard you say, but I'm here for it and I love it.
Sailboat Chardonnay.
But there's like, you're so highbrow that there's a specific version of it that you prefer. I don't know. I love it.
Let's get to
I
the
don't-
hot takes.
Let's get some hot takes here. Yes, Devin's got.
Yeah,
some
let's do this.
well,
research
well,
Wait, Devin. No.
Your guys'
But
show,
before we
I'll
get
wait
a
as
word
long as
from
you
our
want.
sponsor. No,
Well-
we only have another 48 minutes.
The hot take that I had as I was watching this movie and taking as many notes as I could, my hot take is that due to multiple reasons behind the scenes, Bill Murray is actually like the least funny thing of this movie in the
I can see
grand
that.
scheme of things.
Wow.
I
can see
think
that, actually.
I think because he's supposed to be playing the guy that's having the experience, he ends up fighting with the wackiness of all these actors. This like cavalcade of 5-star Oscar-nominated and Oscar-winning and Academy
True.
Award-nominated and Academy Award-winning actors who just come in and just feel like they're a part of the world. And Bill Murray, apparently because of the director, because of Donner,
Yeah.
he's not a fish out of water. He's like a dog in a lake just paddling. And it's funny and he's terrific and it's amazing to watch him. But I mean, you have one of the faces of the 80s actresses in here, Karen Allen, who just is like the heart and soul of it. And then you have Carol Kane, Karen Allen, yeah. And then you've got Carol Kane, who just is like a tornado when she comes on screen. Like she kicks the shit out of him. It hurt him so bad in the lip scene that they had to stop filming for a week.
Oh wow.
Really?
She didn't
Oh,
like
wow.
all, and I'm just regurgitating all the Wikipedia and IMDb stuff that I read
That's
about
kind
this.
of
but
what we're here for, though. That's what we're here
Well,
for.
when I
in the
was
first
watching
half
that-
hour.
I think so. Let me go back a second. Karen Allen, obviously from Indiana Jones, right?
Of course.
I think she's one of the 3 female faces of the 80s cinema. And
Oh,
you guys can
Who are the other
tell.
two? Who are your other two?
I think that the other one or the other two are Jennifer Grey
Oh, I agree with that
Wow.
for sure. Definitely.
and Mia Sara.
Oh,
Mia,
okay.
Mia Sarah and
Okay.
Jennifer Grey happened to both be in Ferris Bueller's, but
Yeah.
Mia
Right.
Sarah was also in Legend.
That's
Yep.
true.
So I think, yeah. So anyway, to see Karen Allen there, sort of at the very, very edge of the end of the '80s, she's flipping amazing. But
Yeah.
I was just,
and on that Mount Rushmore, I would also put Nancy Allen. You
Oh,
that's-
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I feel like, well,
but-
Nancy
but she's
Allen's
slightly
just as much
older.
70s too. And again, I was thinking
Yeah.
with when you said oh God, refresh my memory. Not when you said Mia Sarah, I think of her as also being very 90s. Because I always forget that she's in Legend, but I always remember that she was in Time Cop as well.
Oh my God,
Yep.
that's right.
But I also,
So
I
that's
mean,
like
like,
such a 90s film to me that like that kind of takes her out of the 80s. I love Mia Sarah. I mean, she's absolutely incredible. I wish she did more.
She was just a
but-
little younger than Jennifer Grey. Jennifer Grey was like
Yeah.
at peak,
Yeah.
peak stardom in the '80s.
Oh, and I
Phoebe
love
Cates.
Jennifer Grey. Unquestionably, she's
Oh,
up
yeah,
there.
Phoebe
facing-
Cates.
Oh,
Phoebe
okay.
I'd probably
Cates.
say,
Strike
not
Nancy,
to get
strike
too off.
Nancy Allen. Phoebe Cates.
It's Phoebe Cates over Nancy Allen. No offense to Nancy Allen.
Oh, we're gonna mini take this off the rails, but I gotta say Jamie Gertz has got to be in there too. For
Yeah,
the
yeah.
three
There's a
female
lot of
faces
them.
the 80s.
There's a
Yeah,
lot
but
So
I
got
think
Less
of her
Than
as
Zero, Lost Boys, Solar Babies, Crossroads, so
Molly
many great
Ringwald.
ones.
Molly
Solar-
Ringwald.
Oh,
Ali
Molly Ringwald. Oh,
Sheedy.
Ali Sheedy. Yeah.
Oh
So
my
many.
Molly
God.
Ringwald.
But the Brat Pack is kind of its own thing, though. To be
Yeah.
fair, you know.
Chris, there is a garbage man who is off duty tonight watching Solar Babies in Indiana. There is a grandfather who tries to make his grandkids watch Solar Babies every Thanksgiving, and you. Those are the three people that know Solar Babies. Okay.
Those are we just identified where the real people are, my friend. Thank you for pointing that out. But getting back on
They're in
track with
Gary,
Scrooged.
Indiana. That's where they are.
There, I hail from the Midwest waters myself. So getting back.
I do know Bill Murray and Richard Donner did not get along. In this
Well,
movie.
yeah, actually, I was going to say that. Interesting
Yeah.
thing is, I think Richard Donner has been quoted or was quoted as saying that directing Bill Murray is like being a traffic cop in Times Square on New Year's Eve when the power goes out, when the lights go out, and like that's what it's like trying to direct Bill Murray.
And a lot of
'cause
people say
apparently-
that about Bill Murray,
yeah.
especially during that time period.
But do you
Harold
guys think it's weird that this is his first movie since Ghostbusters?
Well, I guess you don't count the Razor's Edge. I guess what that
Nobody
came out technically
counts the-
before.
Nobody
This-
counts
again,
Razor's
yeah,
Edge.
the
It was
three
like-
fucking yeah.
Yeah.
And before we even get there, shut up, Mickey. I know you love the movie. I know you'll praise it. I don't even want to hear it.
With the Razor's Edge,
Yes.
you like the Razor's Edge?
No, not really.
Yeah, I didn't think that.
I
Was
haven't
a
even
Mickey
seen it.
movie.
So
Okay.
You're just saying it because I said it first. That is the
Just
only
saying.
reason.
Well, I
I'm
always
being
think
real.
that there's like these two distinct phases of Murray's career, right? There's the years where like Harold Ramis gave him everything that was good, and then there's like the years where Wes Anderson gave him everything that was good. And this movie sort of sits almost in between. He still had another Ramis movie coming up in Groundhog Day. The Master.
But that's what I'm saying. It's kind of Groundhog Day, Rushmore. Those are the kind of the they're
the sort of the breaking
before
points.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
like before Rushmore and after Rushmore. Bill Murray.
But this is in the middle of the Ramis years, then, if you will, prime in the thick of it. And I think he was like retired. Like they really had to keep throwing more money at him to get him to do this movie. He said no to this movie, I think, a bunch of times before he said yes. Because again, I think that's just kind of like how you have to be, how the business end of it was done back then. But also,
Well,
I think,
on paper, I mean, if you look at this, I mean, if you're an actor and you get this script, or not even the script, let's just say like, hey, we're thinking about doing this like kind of like remake or like a different take on the Christmas Carol. Most are gonna be like, why would I do that?
I mean, there is like what? There's 25 versions of A Christmas Carol out there.
Yeah, there's a
like
lot.
that.
That theatrical, only
Mhm.
theatrical. That's not counting all the TV movies, the
Yeah,
animated movie, because there's Jim Carrey version, like they said, there's the Alistair Sim version that I love. There's Scrooge the musical. There's with
A Muppet
Albert-
Christmas fucking
There's a
Carol.
Muppet
Muppets
Christmas
Christmas-
Carol.
Mickey's Christmas Carol. Come
Oh, that's
on.
right.
That's the
Which
one where
is-
Mickey put a video camera up and just did a one-man show. Uh,
I wish it was Burgess Meredith's Mickey. That would be the Mickey's Christmas
well,
Carol. I
there,
would like to see.
there was
That's
one
the
with-
mashup. That's the
there's one with
mashup.
There you go.
There's one with Patrick Stewart. There's one with there was the one with George C. Scott in '84. I mean, it's like there's tons of versions of this, and I'll have to admit, I think Scrooge took it in a really cool direction.
It's the most original of any
Yes, yeah.
Christmas Carol remake or whatever like that, or reimagining. If this one truly is like a reimagining, I mean, you get you can't stray away from the basic concept of Christmas Carol, but there's enough in here that doesn't make you feel like you're watching Christmas Carol like line for
It's
line,
true.
word for
'Cause-
word.
and it's true because
scene
like
by scene.
it's true because I didn't really like Christmas Carol as a kid. I was like, oh, that's that
Oh.
old thing, I watched it once or twice. I was like, I get it. It's on TV all the time, I know, I don't need it. And then there may even been some hesitancy going in, but then you kind of realize, oh, this isn't that. This is a Bill Murray fun. This is like Ghostbusters. This is like, Golden Child. This is like a fun adventure movie or what, this fun, crazy, wild ride. But I always wondered what attracted Donner to this movie, because Donner was like, I made The Omen and Superman and Goonies and like Lethal Weapon, and I'm making a Christmas movie. Well, maybe it was money. I don't know.
I'm sure.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah, I
sure,
guess.
to get Donner to do like a version of Christmas Carol. I mean, you're not walking up to Donner and going like, hey, you're interested in doing a remake of Christmas Carol? And oh, by the way, get Bill Murray. He's probably not going like, yeah, sign me up. It's like, and here's some cash. And he's like,
Well, you
"Okay."
heard this was between Lethal Weapon and Lethal Weapon 2, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Mhm.
So, like,
was it?
it
Yeah, I
couldn't
guess
have been
was.
just it couldn't have been just money, because they knew if they got Bill Murray, he'd be eating a bunch of the budget.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe.
I mean, Donner probably got back end on this, right? I mean,
I'm sure, but I want to know.
Probably, yeah.
I want to see the Donner cut of this, and then, even though it's impossible, I want to see the Murray cut, because it sounds like they were two totally different. Like, that's all the trivia is about them not getting along, because when Bill Murray read it, he was like, "Yeah, I want to do it, but we have to work on the script really hard." So, according to him in interviews, they beefed up the love story part of it and some other stuff. But it was Donner who told him to go bigger and bigger. So,
yeah.
so I really want to know, because if you didn't know that Richard Donner directed it, it's right on the cusp of being a Tim Burton vibey movie. It's got
Danny
that
Elfman music, yeah.
Danny Elfman score, gets beaten for best special effects by Beetlejuice,
Mhm.
Oh wow.
which is unbelievable, because as good as Beetlejuice effects are, this movie's far more visually insane than Beetlejuice gets.
And a lot
Beetlejuice is
more
like
slick, and yeah, Beetlejuice
super
is like,
slick.
yeah.
When
I
we're
still
ready to talk about moments, I'm ready to talk about those ghosts, man.
I was
Oh my
gonna say,
God.
I love that moment where he's just in the elevator. May I? He opens up the dress. It's just that real quick. It's kind of like that Beetlejuice moment. That it's like it gets you, and he's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Hey, just one more time. Just
One
kinda
more
does-
time.
yeah.
It's very,
He's
it's
got to
very,
see it.
it's very large margins too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Like 80s Tim Burton, it was a little different.
Let's not
Didn't
forget
get-
the great David Johansen too.
Oh, he's
is that
great.
The cab
That's-
driver.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what Attila the Hun said.
Yeah.
But when
I-
he saw
I-
his mother, Niagara Falls.
Falls.
Unbelievable.
Niagara
What?
Falls.
I had a question when I saw him. I was like, in the past, I always took it for granted. Like, yeah, he's got elf ears. Why does he have elf ears? Are they ghosts, or are they spirits? Like, what's the difference?
Oh, that's a good point. I don't.
He's got. Doesn't he have pointed?
Yeah, it's
he's got
got
like
pointed ears.
Yeah. So I was kind of
Maybe
like, oh,
maybe he's a devil. I don't know.
Which,
Could be a
for
devil
facts,
ghost.
fun facts out there, almost was Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh,
the studio-
wow.
But
Oh,
the
wow.
studio really wanted wanted a music video star, and this is like right around the Dexter point,
The Buster
hot,
Poindexter.
hot, yeah, the hot,
Oh,
It's
okay.
so like it's so like
So
I mean,
that's
like,
what they
it-
wanted him.
Wow.
So
Bill Murray
interesting to
knew
see
him.
where he was.
Yeah,
Like he started like David Johansen New York Dolls, legendary group. And then he goes to that Buster Poindexter kind of like thing. And then you see him acting in movies and stuff like that.
Tales from the Dark Side.
Yep.
Oh
yep.
my gosh.
I'll tell you
the
what, he's
best
you know,
hitman ever.
So good.
it's no Tone Loc though.
You
That
chose Fluffy the dog over Claire.
Yeah.
my favorite moment with him is when he's just losing it in the stands, like, it's a bone, you fucking yucks. Like,
It's a bone.
yeah, it's
No,
a bone.
it's a bone.
And that's another great actor there on stage who's playing the postal guy is from Total Recall, like the
That's exactly what I
guy.
thought. Yeah, I was like, oh, it's that actor who's been in 1,000 things.
Oh
And
my
he's got
god.
such a great voice. I'm sure that dude's done a ton of voice acting because he's just got one of those. The movie actually has a lot of great voice actors, like Carol Kane, obviously. I forget, but who plays the first ghost? That voice is like iconic.
From Dynasty.
Yeah, and he's in the
John
movie
Forsythe.
later too.
John Forsythe,
Right.
Charlie's
John
he's
Forsythe,
voicing
yeah.
Charlie's Angel. You know,
That's
yeah,
where
yeah.
that's where it's from.
Yeah, but
That's why
people
that
would have
voice
known him
is,
at this time as the Dynasty guy. You know that. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It is a
What-
weird. It's chock full of like these, almost like indie stars of tomorrow, and then like TV stars of yesterday and shit. Like there's
Yeah,
Lee
John Glover.
Majors.
John
John
Glover.
Glover's oh my god, just one of the fucking best actors that's ever
He's
walked
toast.
the earth. John Glover's amazing. I don't think anyone else could have done that role half as good as he did.
Oh, you guys, John Glover shared universe, right? So
Oh, I'm all for it.
he rises to the top of this movie. He becomes the president, right? Then buys it
Yes.
out, renames it into Clamp Tower for Gremlins 2. But the
Yes.
Gremlins ruin his empire. And even though it breaks with the continuity, but I actually, in my mind, think that it's his character's brother who runs the asylum in The Mouth of Madness.
Oh,
I thought you were
gosh.
gonna say fucking Batman and Robin.
Yes, well, God. Even
Arkham
lesser John
Asylum?
Glover is amazing John Glover.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to think that he was the actor who always played the same character back in the early 90s, and he doesn't. He's just got that face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recognizable.
As a kid, I was like, oh, that
And
character's in this.
Yeah.
And then the awesomeness that is Smallville.
Yeah. Oh my God. He just wipes the floor.
Is he in
with everybody on
Smallville?
that show. Oh
Yeah.
my God. He's like the main reason you should watch that show.
Yep.
If you
Who
like
does he
Superman
play?
at all. He plays
He's-
Lex Luthor's father.
Yep.
Oh,
Lionel
shit.
Luthor.
That's
It's
cool.
amazing. Amazing.
God bless. Now I have to look him up and see how old he is. He's
I will
probably in his
say-
70s.
Well, that
Before
show
we
was 20 years ago now. So
Before we get any further, though, I will say this. I have to appreciate this movie for how much it emphasizes the importance of a towel versus a VCR. Towel.
God.
Towel.
I love that they shout out
VCR,
Pioneer as the
towel.
lead brand.
Most of these are towels.
Most of these
Yeah,
are towels.
Exactly.
You may be wrong once or twice.
And then his secretary like sends the VCR to his brother.
Yeah.
My
Top of the line
ex-
Pioneer VHS.
My
That oughta
ex
work.
secretary.
Yeah.
All of Bill Murray's brothers are like in this movie, at least two.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the credits say 3 of them, but I don't know who the third one is. His younger brother is his younger brother. His older brother is his dad, but I don't know who his third brother was.
And it's Joel Murray in the party scene.
So that's him.
That's right.
the
yeah.
other
Or
brother.
coming
Yeah,
out of
Joel.
the-
Yeah,
Oh.
Joel. Murray, yeah, Joel Murray is one of the other guests with he's got the longer hair. Joel Murray.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But
I love extreme
Shoot.
Riggs mullet.
Is
Riggs
that it?
mullet Bill Murray
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
flashbacks.
Daddy? Is that Choo Choo? No, it's Veal.
I have a note here that just says Bill Murray's fucking hair
Yes.
Yeah.
in
That
the
mullet-
flashbacks.
Yeah, the mullet
my
in
God.
'69.
But the
like- So
the
good.
mullet that's like basically like the hair, he's losing the hair, dude.
But he's
That's
still
a song, right?
partying.
Mullet of 69. Isn't that a song? Mullet of
It should
69.
be.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
a
it
bullet
is.
Song.
We call that a bullet, Mickey. That's
A bullet.
A bullet, yeah.
A
Or
bullet.
Yeah.
a
It's not-
skullet. A skullet, dude.
Skull it.
skull it.
I want to
why don't you
know.
get off
Oh
your
my God.
butt and go buy a choo-choo?
Speaking of Bill
Get a
Murray,
job and go buy one.
speaking of Bill Murray and Richard Donner, I want to know who's responsible for all the bullshit slapstick comedy that happens to like the censor lady. It's so.
Oh yeah, that is like
It's
kind of
like-
random.
Oh,
I
duck.
always go, ugh, when that happens because I'm like, come on, man, it doesn't fit into the movie, but
Yeah.
somehow it like it's its own like addition to the movie somehow. Somebody somewhere was like, let's beat the shit out of that woman. If she was
So
like,
I feel like
okay.
someone forced her onto that movie, and then like neither of them liked her, but they're like, look, the money man says we got to put her in a few scenes. Like,
it's
what do you wanna
somebody's
do? All right,
wife or
Yeah.
someone's wife or aunt or cousin
mistress
or something.
Yes.
And she
I
does a
love-
great job, especially at the end when she's macking on John Glover. I bet that was improv. I bet she was just
Oh.
like,
Yeah.
Or
I will say
possible.
this every time because of this movie. Every time somebody's hammering, like if I'm at a play and my students are hammering,
would you please,
stop the god dang hammer.
for the love of
Oh,
God.
man.
All I want to say every time, and nobody would get it.
Dude, I love when they're talking like the prop guy is saying we got a problem, and he's like, "What's the problem?" And he's like, "These antlers won't go on the little
Oh
mouse."
yeah.
on
Have
the
you tried
mouse."
Staples?
Have you said sip? I would never do a thing like that.
I have a cat and 3 dogs at home. That
Oh, great
actor
story.
is
Tell Reader's
he's
Digest.
he's the most kindest, gentlest character in the whole show, except for maybe Karen Allen, for God's sake.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
so
I do.
true.
We gotta recognize. I can't think of his name, but he got the Oscar nomination for Bonnie and Clyde.
Hmm.
He's one of the homeless gentlemen.
Yes, that's what I was.
Oh yeah.
Last name is Lillard, I think. Matthew Lillard, not Matthew Lillard.
No,
but
not
something
Matthew
Lillard.
Lillard's dad,
Pollard,
Mr.
Michael
Lillard.
Pollard, Michael Pollard, Michael
Pollard.
Pollard,
Oh, Michael
Michael-
J. Pollard.
Michael J.
Yes.
Pollard. Just that moment where he taps the watch and it just I always thought that was the coolest thing. I when I was a kid, I always loved that scene.
That was the scene that I
Yeah.
always accidentally tuned into the movie at in the early 90s. And I would just watch it from there to the end. But I always thought I could never figure out if that was actually Michael J. Pollard made up or if it was the most realistic fake. I mean, he's got crystals on him, but it looks
Well,
so real. I can't
yeah,
even understand.
It's always
Yeah.
cheaper to do it real than create a whole fake thing. But we are past halfway point, so I do want us to get to our pitches soon. But I also got to get up to the chat because I'm way behind. Again, people saying how they first saw the film. Angie Saunders says VHS. Mike Saunders says cable. Alex Bonafonte says the same TV in fragments. Says Christmas Vacation is his number one. You might want to check out our vacation episode, one of our earlier episodes of VCR Redux. Angie Saunders says Die Hard, which we will be doing coming up, so you guys definitely want to stay tuned. Alex Bonafonte asks, is Scrooge Bill Murray's first soiree into dramatic stuff? Leans dramatic a bit. Also some talk of Golden Child aging fairly well, self-aware in the risque parts.
I love
And as
Golden Child.
some Bill Murray love. Retro Fiend Radio, again, our friends who make some of the best canon and martial arts documentaries around, say best Christmas opening ever, to which I would absolutely agree. Lee
the
Majors
night-
in
night-
the fucking reindeer died. is the
I-
best
That's
thing
like
I
with
do want to
the
see that
boardroom.
movie.
Yes,
When he
that's
said-
basically my pitch. Just make
the-
that.
the boardroom when he says like, "I'm gonna have to kill you all." Like-
I'm gonna have to kill all
all
of
of
you.
you. He's like, "This is my movie," and he does the whole thing.
You know
Yeah.
what gets me every time? It's in that commercial that he runs. It's when it goes heroin addicts, and there's this guy who does this like, and it's like, damn it, who did that? Who is the guy that did the voiceover for that? Because I want to meet him and just be like, I grew up listening to your moaning. Like it's
Maybe
like,
it's
what-
Donner.
It's like
Maybe that could be his cameo.
I swear to God, that's the best moan in cinema.
And his
history.
fucking Bill Murray's Scrooge promo is so goddamn good. Like, your life
Yes.
may depend on it.
just
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so fucking good. But again, just finishing up with the chat, Alex Bonafonte says Carol Kane steals the movie. Too funny. Also, some love for Mia Sarah. Going in the
I know
chat.
something you
Elizabeth
don't know.
Shue.
I know something you
Um,
don't know. I know something you don't know. I know something.
true.
Yeah.
Just again, such a perfect voice. You know, I like the rough stuff, don't you? I can't. It's the worst impression ever. But again, just a magical voice.
How did that go again, Chris?
Yeah, we're not gonna do that again. You'll have a rewind button at home.
I thought she had joined the chat for just a second. I thought special guest Carol Kane. Oh my God, she's here! But it was just your perfect.
I was like, what happened here? Oh my Lord.
Just get a curly blonde wig and pixels.
I see a lot of talk of Jamie Gertz in the chat, so I'm glad to see she's getting her respect. And also some people confusing Razor's Edge with River's Edge in the chat. Do not make that mistake, because River's Edge is a masterpiece, and Razor's Edge is a thing that happened.
It happened to all of us.
Razor's Edge, a great AC/DC album, but not necessarily a great Bill Murray film. But we are Thunderstruck. We are past the half hour, folks, and I see Gold's Code in the chat as well, and Hardcore Graveyard. Thank you guys both so much for tuning in. So we are in pitch time. That obviously goes for everyone in the chat to hit us with your pitches for Scrooged 2 or Scrooged Again or Scrooged Part 2. Part 2. But I mean, I certainly have a few ideas. I think this franchise could go, but I want to hear what you guys have to say first, and of course you guys at home too. So who wants to fire the first shot?
So I thought about this. If you were to remake this, well, not remake it, but let's say we do Scrooged Again. I think we have a prime opportunity to focus on the reality TV aspect of nowadays.
Oh yeah, the cable network.
Yeah.
The cable net, because right now, I mean, we're past those years, right? The cable years that are in this movie, but there's still those executives. Like, we know this,
Sure.
there's still executives. Like, by the way, my favorite moment with Bill Murray is actually when he pulls the desk and looks at himself in the mirror and just smiles before he talks to the. There's still that guy there. So my casting is, I want Jason Sudeikis as the studio executive, because either him or Bill Hader, those are my two Bill Murray 2.0s. I love those two guys from SNL. And if it's one of them, and the only thing that I really think would work is if you brought back Bill Murray.
Yes.
He would be in my version, he would be in the
first Ghost.
Yes, he'd be the Forsyth role. It'd be Bill Murray now as the one saying, "Hey, this happened to me before. It's your turn, pal. You've gotten too far. Oh my God, Frank Cross, you died years ago. And I think that would be kind of cool, because I don't want Murray in it all the time. I don't want, it just, but Murray is really getting good at having the steam sealer lately, where he comes in at for a 10-minute scene, and it's just the right amount. That it's not too much Murray, but it's just enough Murray that you love it and you want more, and always leave him when you want more. And I think if he was in that role, I don't know where it would go, other than, like I said, I think the reality TV world that they're in, I think you could really play around with that. Although I would love to do something like Stay Tuned. If you ever saw that great movie Stay Tuned, doing a Christmas Carol version almost like that. But I don't know beyond that. That was just a kind of initial idea I had.
Well, I'd say I love all of that except for the reality TV part. That's just something that it's a culture fart that I don't want to,
cultural fart.
It really, I just think, we don't know, 20 years from now, people might be like, what the fuck is reality TV? What is that? Like vlogging? Maybe something, maybe
I do get that. I do get that. Yeah.
But I mean, and also it's just oh no, reality TV is so fucking lame and shitty, and Scrooge is fun and kind of, I think of polished popcorn products, like Santa with machine guns and Lee fucking Majors, old TV stars. It would almost be funny to all these people that they had, that they were like old stars of the 70s, say, in Scrooged, would be replaced with people who were stars of the 90s now. And I think that is where a lot of the fun is to be had.
Ooh,
in
can I get Jason
another-
Priestley?
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, imagine Jason Priestley as like the John Glover type, or one of the other, network executives, or doesn't,
Coming.
necessarily have to be, maybe it's
Johnny
Ian
Lee
Ziering.
Miller.
Johnny Lee Miller.
Yeah.
Wait, who's Johnny Lee Miller? Why is it
Hackers.
drawing a blank?
Hackers.
Hackers.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! Fuck yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's done amazing stuff with. They did that like stage play of Frankenstein with him and Cumberbatch, and they would randomly switch roles
Oh yeah.
every night.
Oh, it was amazing.
shit.
Oh, it was
Oh, wow.
amazing. Oh, you should see that performance.
They released that,
know.
right? That was made available to actually just watch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They filmed. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
You can watch it. Yeah.
I don't know, like,
Wow.
like if, like I was thinking about this, and I'm like, I don't know if you could do a new Scrooged, but like, to me, like, I don't know what, I just love the old school so much that I'm all for, like, if you're doing a sequel, he did get redemption. He was there. Murray was there. You don't necessarily have to have him as a main role. I don't see him being a ghost. Because I just feel that those ghosts were ones that didn't learn their lessons. I could see him as the cab driver guy, as the cab driver ghost, kind of showing him around. So that would mean he would be in the movie a lot more than just a cameo. But like, I feel like Frank Cross needs to be kind of like spearheading this, and I almost feel like, though nobody would really know him, like I almost feel like Frank Cross, in my mind, if this world continued, obviously he had a change of heart. He rehires Bobcat Goldthwait's character, and that's his second in command. And then basically when he leaves the company, he gives it over to Bobcat, and then Bobcat loses his way because he gets all that power. He gets all that whatever, and he loses his mind, and he starts becoming the dick. He starts becoming the bad guy. But again, in today's day and age, that wouldn't really work because not a lot of people know who Bobcat is. I mean,
Well, and he won't do the voice,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
all
true.
mad respect to him for. Like, I get.
But
why
he could definitely direct it because that's really what
He
he's
actually
doing
has a great.
now.
Yeah, he's a great director now. Yeah, actually.
Or write it.
I would totally be fine with him directing a sequel.
Yeah.
Like,
But I
keep
would-
it in the family in a
Yeah.
weird way. Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
even,
I mean,
Don't let
I'm
Mel
not-
Gibson direct it.
Scrooge 2, Apocalypto.
Passion of the Scrooge.
Apocalypto.
Passion of the Scrooge. Oh my God! Talk about cultural Scrooge stains.
What would kind of be funny if you had Bill Murray in the death outfit? But I always think it's funny when people, like, death is always portrayed with people have like the face cut out like Seventh Seal. But if you get the perfect actor in that face, like Bill Murray as
Cute.
that face, with him just just old Bill Murray face, like,
Maybe this
go over here,
maybe this is a total waste. But wouldn't it be kind of interesting to see Bill Murray play every ghost? Like,
I knew that's where you were going. I knew that's where you were going, and I just
mean, that
thought
would
it-
be
playing
awesome.
this for a
I
while,
thought
but,
it in my head too, right? But was
Or, I mean, like, I think she's probably
because
too
I almost
old.
think
She's
the movie
probably
should be
too
half Bill
old.
Murray and half like a Sudeikis type, like you were saying, Ian.
But I think Karen Allen she could be like the fairy.
Oh,
I mean,
that'd
yeah,
be good. You
that'd
get
be
Bobcat
interesting.
the taxi driver,
taxi
Karen
driver.
Allen as the ghost of Christmas Present,
And Bill
get
Murray's
Murray
death.
as Death. That would
Yeah.
be kind of cool.
That'd be interesting.
Even
Yeah,
though
I
they
mean,
had
that-
it would be way like it literally like you would have to kind of forget the original because like I said, they did redeem him at the end. So, so you would literally it would just be a cameo of people, but they would be playing different characters. Like,
I got an idea, though.
that make it confusing for people too. Like the Ghostbusters 2016 version where it's like, oh, there's Bill Murray taking up all this time for what reason?
With
I
a
don't
shitty
know.
with a
Yeah.
shitty hat.
With a stupid fucking hat, even with my goddamn awful shirts, I'm like, that's the worst fucking hat I ever
Well,
seen. You
Well,
buy
at
a
least
hat
you
like
said
this,
it.
you get a free bowl of soup.
Oh, hey, well, looks good on you.
So we do have some pitches in the live chat I want to get to. Alex Bonafante with pitch 1 of 2, hitting us with a double pitch out of the gate, which I love. Pitch 1 of 2, Martin Lawrence is an angry, struggling magazine mogul and unfairly trapped in dumb comedies, Scrooged in Brooklyn. I'm definitely not opposed to that.
Doesn't Boomerang kind of remind you of Scrooge in a way, just because he's like an ad, like a TV ad exec too, or whatever like that. And he has that whole
really
presentation with Grace
that.
Jones. The Grace Jones presentation
I fucking love Boomerang.
reminds me of Bill Murray's like advertisement for the Scrooge movie.
Boomerang has like everything that was awesome in the 90s in one movie, but we'll get to that.
I'd see a Scrooge
day.
movie with Eddie Murphy. I could buy
I would love it. I would
I would buy the shit out of that, especially like young prime Eddie Murphy.
And then Eddie Murphy could do all the characters too.
Oh, that's true. Although maybe that becomes a little too
familiar. But that'd be a
Yeah.
great a new version of A Christmas Carol, because gosh knows every year we need a new version of Christmas Carol. But give me the Nutty Professor Christmas Carol. That's what
The Coming to America Christmas Carol.
America.
Trading Places Christmas Carol.
Damn it. Damn. All right.
Get Landis on the horn. I know you're watching, Johnny. Come on.
And if you could, I don't think he would do it, but if you could, you get Murphy, you get Dave Chappelle, and you put them in this.
Only if Tracy Morgan.
That would be amazing.
And
only
Tracy
if
Morgan.
Tracy Morgan is death.
Oh my God.
That's great. And
I want this movie.
Chappelle can reprise his cab driver role from 200 Cigarettes.
Oh yeah.
He can be that guy like aged 40 years later, and then he died and then became a ghost.
Tracy Morgan's death. Tracy Morgan's death.
I'm so down for that. Yeah.
Get over here.
That would be great. But to
You
transition back to
you were fucking up.
You sorry, Devin. I think I cut you off. I'm sorry, man. Devin had a pitch. You were saying.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to go continue the timeline exactly where the first movie ends, and Bill Murray's character is reformed, and he's giving and giving and giving, and his secretary's son grows up with the correct correct view of what positivity and stuff is in his eyes, through his mom and through this huge man, this huge powerful guy in his life, and he sees him have a thing, and it affects his whole life, right? And then it turns out that the ghosts come to the little kid who's now an adult, and they're like, actually, he's doing too much good, and we have to dial it back. We have to balance the Christmas scales, and he has to become more Krampus-y and less Santa Claus-y. So he has to start doing really horrible shit, and it's just called Re-Scrooged.
Oh
wow.
my God.
That's fucking great. That is really good.
And you would have the kid trying to seek out the ghosts. Like how do you intentionally get in contact with all the ghosts? Like what would that be? And so he's trying to dive into that. And
it could be an interesting thing too, almost like a bit of like a Yes Man kind of comedy,
or Brewster's Million.
These ghosts, like
you
have to keep doing this shit, and it seems like that's so fucking horrible and rude. Why would I do that? But every time he does something like kind of shitty or seemingly mean, it like puts someone in place for something great to happen to them. It's like a weird kind of like karma boomerang 180 thing that like he has to start doing to get things right. You know what I mean? Like you throw beads under a guy's feet and he slips and falls, but then he bumps into like the love of his life, and then that's a great thing for him. Or you know what I mean? This isn't making any sense.
It's like the ghosts are like telling the kid like how to write the timeline of karmic whatever without without becoming directly involved. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. The ghosts would direct the little kid on how to re-ruin Bill Murray's life or something of that. I don't know. It's a horrible idea.
Oh,
No,
fucking
that's
Bill
kind of
Murray, too, yeah.
interesting though. Like,
That's very dark. I
Yeah.
love it. That's Bogus Journey like style.
Like,
which
Right,
dig.
right.
Oh, yeah.
like I want to read that fan fiction book that
Yeah.
Devin just gave me. Like, I want
I'd
to
watch
read
the
that.
fucking movie.
There's a lot
yeah.
of ghosts having sex in it then.
Yeah, that's like Nick Cage playing Superman. Like, that's so goddamn weird. I have to see it. Like, I'm
Yeah.
all for it.
He
If
looked
that's what
cool
you're
in the
into.
suit.
Yeah, honestly, I think it would have been, fucking Nick Cage is a hell of an actor. And he's playing Dracula. I know the world is rejoicing. I want us all to rejoice for a moment here.
What is
Nick
and this,
fucking Cage is playing Dracula.
what world what
Shut
world
up.
are we?
Let us have our
No,
fucking excitement.
no, stop it. All right, what world are we in where this man is going to be Dracula and everybody's excited about it, and he's going to get a freaking Oscar nomination over a pig? Like, this is the world we're living in right now.
Yeah, but
This
he's
is what
he's a
happens.
very, very entertaining and very skilled and experienced actor.
Can you
lay the
imagine that?
groundwork, when your career is built on a foundation of Valley Girl and Vampire's Kiss, there's nothing stronger than that. There's just
I'm just saying, I think, like, if they give the Oscar to Nicolas Cage again, like,
He got it for
just-
Moonstruck.
no, for
no,
Leaving Las
Leaving
Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, just
What
like,
did he
just-
get for adaptation? Nothing.
He just
Nothing yet.
nominated, I think.
Oh, okay.
No, he didn't even get nominated. No,
I don't think so.
yeah,
I think,
it-
I think
it
the
was-
writers
it
did.
was Chris Cooper.
Okay.
Chris Cooper won
Okay.
for adaptation.
Oh, yeah.
But like, if you give it to Nick Cage for Pig, like, just give up on the Academy Award. Like, just stop it. Like, it's like
What,
the
is Pig
lifetime
bad?
achievement.
Well,
No,
you
it's
know,
apparently he's Oscar worthy in this. Like, he really goes for a dramatic role. And this isn't the crazy Mandy, Nick Cage. This is a complete Oscar worthy Nicolas Cage. But it's
that's
like,
good
just
and fine.
like, give him the Oscar and then stop the Oscars. Like, it's when you gave the lifetime achievement to Clint Howard. Like, just end it. Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing better than that.
Oh, you mean like end the
Okay, I
Oscars
see
for
where
that
you're going.
person, not
Yeah.
end the Oscars entirely.
No, I mean, literally end the Oscars entirely. Like, give it
I'm
to
okay
Nick
with
Cage
that.
and just
Make more
And then
room.
stop.
yeah, just be like,
Yeah.
we're done. We can't do any better than this. like this is
agree.
it.
I
Award
endorse
shows
this.
in general should go away, but that's
No,
just-
they
Yeah,
should
you
just
guys,
They should
you
just be
guys have
more
heard
like
the
80
George. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, Devin, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say you saw the George C. Scott thing where they tried to give him a best
Yeah, he
actor
already
award, and
wouldn't
he's
go,
like,
yeah.
and he's like, you can't give anybody the award for best acting. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Everybody's playing a different character. Everybody's a different human being. It doesn't make any sense. These awards are stupid. And
Yeah, I
then he
know.
did Exorcist 3. Talk about threequels.
Oh yeah. I love George C. Scott and that particular threequel as well. But to get things back a little bit towards Scrooged, if we can, for a sec.
Boo.
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 I know.
You're the
This-
teacher in the class, man. Like, knock it off. Like,
I know. Well, poor Alex Bonafonte. He gave us 2 pitches. I teased the audience 2
Oh,
pitches. I only read one of
there you
them. So
I'm
do
gonna
wanna
let you
read Alex-
finish. I'm gonna let
I
you
really
finish.
want to read Alex Bonafonte's second pitch. So pitch 2 from my man
Alex Belafonte, the best of all time. All time.
That's
Mic
right.
drop.
Zach Morris, this is pitch 2. Zach Morris must atone in a special 78 hours Saved by the Bell episode. That's just perfection right there.
Give me
Um,
that. Bring
yeah.
the
You
homeless
want
chick-
a Christmas
fucking-
Saved by the Bell?
bring the homeless
Bayside,
chick
yeah.
back. The homeless chick and her dad. Bring them back. Well, the dad's dead probably.
Oh,
by
we
this
need
time.
Biker Tory back for this. I mean, this could,
Oh,
this film would be
oh,
amazing.
only if Zach Morris and Death are looking at Christmas future and she's back on the caffeine pills, and nobody's there to stop her.
Oh, caffeine
Yeah.
pills have to be present. That's got to be the ghost of Christmas Present right there. Well, I guess that may be the ghost of Christmas Past.
I love the reboot. I love the reboot.
I
movie.
have only watched a couple episodes. I got to give it more time to sink in. And I'm a binge guy. I have to binge, otherwise I can't.
Oh, We're all there.
They're all there. I know. Yeah, I got the Peacock or whatever the fuck it is. So I have to get. A lot of Bobcat-
This episode sponsored by Peacock. Yeah, I have Peacock or wherever the F it is. Whatever.
Well, I'm sure
It's
there's
a
something-
business.
I think there's
It's a
good
business about a
wrestling on there.
business. About a business.
So a lot of talk in the chat, a lot of Bobcat Goldthwait love in the chat, and a lot of laughs on the panel here.
in the business, make a business. So let's make some business.
Let's make some business about business.
All right. Is there anything else we haven't thrown at the Scrooge universe? Is there any stone we've left unturned? Anything keeping in the SNL spirit, I think is kind of crucial.
I do think that. I would also say I do want somebody to do a great version of Put a Little Love in Your Heart, because that version by Annie Lennox and Al Green I will listen to every Christmas.
The one from the movie?
Yeah, the one from the movie, the very end, which is like
Bruno Mars.
Okay, I realize that I'm the guy who loves the movie but hates a bunch of shit about it because I hate that song.
Get Out.
I hate it. I like Annie Lennox. The other guy, I am familiar with his work, I guess. I hate the way the movie ends.
Oh, come on. It's got the best moment with Bill Murray Scrooge,
Yeah, and then he's saying like, everybody on the left. Only the left.
Yeah, that's all great.
Oh, the real women. The real women.
The real women.
Yeah, that
I love that
very well. Problematic, cancel it. Let's all shut this down. I do think, reasonable question is that some of, if not definitely some of, but is that Bill Murray's best acting though in that scene? Because he's like going full speed cocaine energy at the end. Yeah.
Well, he's not acting though. He's just improvising it.
Yeah.
I guess that's true.
That's the reason. That's why I feel like Bill Murray is the weak point of the movie. Everybody else is acting, and Bill Murray has been told to go ape shit.
But it's interesting because like I feel like his brand is normally I don't want to be here. Like that's kind of his brand.
Oh, that's 100% his brand. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. But that's the one scene where you ever see him like really, really, really act like he wants to be somewhere.
Maybe it was the last scene and he was like, oh man, finally done with this movie.
Yeah. I'm done.
So much cocaine in the trailer. I don't know.
But we all know, I mean, like, the way they film things, that might not have been the last thing.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, and the internet pointed out that was his first movie where he's not part of an ensemble. Well, he sort of is, but it's like he's like the main character, not like Ghostbusters where he's given these moments, and then when he's not sending them out, there's three other characters could kind of pull it up. Right. I just feel like a real spoil sport on this movie that I absolutely love. Wow, you guys, I'm just gonna mute myself.
No, it's true. Like Meatballs, though, it's funny you say it because like Meatballs, he was his own thing, right? It was just like because they only had him for like a couple weeks. Go do your Bill Murray thing, and then out. But he was on his own. But then the rest of it, Stripes. It's him and Harold Ramis, Ghostbusters, him and somebody else, like
Caddyshack, him and Chevy Chase,
Caddyshack, him and
Rodney Dangerfield, yeah.
Groundhog Day is pretty much all him.
Well, that was later.
That's a little bit later, yeah.
But I thought we were just talking in general, like.
He steals all the scenes in Caddyshack because that character is so crazy and over the top. But would you want to see a whole? I mean, I guess I would want to see a whole movie with just that character.
Oh, I totally would. Yeah.
I want to see a movie with his character and Dan Aykroyd.
We should be at fucking Caddyshack like 19 by now. Like they should have just kept cranking them out like every twice a year in the 90s.
Well, the second one is so bad.
Oh, it's amazing. Jackie Mason. What are you, Fonzanoon?
Oh, I'm out.
This guy.
That's
Devin ruined it.
He,
I'm out. How dare you insult Caddyshack? How dare you?
Jonathan Silverman,
I
apologize to you, sir. Great Caddyshack. Dan Aykroyd is.
Well, it was nice coming on your podcast for the first and last time. Everybody have fun.
Ian stages a walk-off every episode.
It's true. It's not you.
Oh,
it's part of his brand. It's like Bill Murray maybe not showing up when you hire Bill Murray. It's part of his brand.
Ian's brand is he might not stay. He'll always show up, but he might not stay.
Especially if you don't give respect to the Oscar-worthy Caddyshack.
I'm just saying.
So we are.
Caddyshack was a business. It's a business. It's a business. It's about a business.
Oh, in the chat though, I gotta say, Ian's brand is also shitting on Dokken. That's just great.
What's wrong with Dokken? They got that one good song.
No, they got two good songs.
First off, what isn't wrong with Dokken?
The one thing that's one thing not wrong with Dawkins,
next week to
and
find
it's
out.
called Dream Warriors, and that's it.
Unchain the Night. Baby.
One.
So we are almost out of time, and I do want to give our guests a chance to plug anything they have upcoming in the works, or even just where people can follow you on social media. Guys, any plugs you want to throw out there into the internet verse?
Yeah, I just want to plug the Doc and George Lynch reunion that's coming up. It should be very cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well played. Worthy of a slow clap.
Amazing.
Hashtag
I'm a fan. I'm not gonna lie.
Dream Warriors, you guys.
Dockin and Striper.
Oh, did you know
Winger,
that they were in
all of
Nightmare
it.
on Elm Street 3? They did that song. Did you know that? You know, I just want to pull that fact out of my butt as if nobody knows about it.
Let us enjoy our Laserdisc collection already.
That's what I've been talking about this whole time, Ian. You're crazy.
So, Devin, is there anything you have coming up in the works you want to let the people at home know about?
Who, me?
Yeah, that would be you.
Sure. Check out Dairy Public
Who,
Radio.
me? Yeah, you.
Yeah. Check out Dairy Public Radio, a Stephen King podcast that I do a little bit of engineering for, but actually it's my wife's baby. And Ian was kind enough to come to the Quad Cities over the summer and write and direct about an 8.5-minute short film that is just like packed to the gills with Stephen King Easter eggs and features acting from everybody who's on the podcast and some music from the band.
And this guy.
Yeah, we did some music for it and some sound effects, but check out Dairy Public Radio, DERRY, as in the town that it takes place in, from Stephen King. Check it out. They just celebrated their 100th book featuring episode, but they're actually on like episode 150 or something. And they release every other Sunday at 5 p.m. So check it out.
Wow, that sounds awesome. Definitely want to tune into that for everybody watching at home. Also, Ian, I don't want to cut you off. Give you a chance. Is there anything you got coming up in the works? Other than your recently directed efforts and some new articles, right? I'm sure are up.
Yes. Please go ahead and go to Fandom Spotlight. I just had an article on the amazing, inspired by Dairy Public Radio. My review on the classic Arnold film, The Running Man. Which
did you already do that one on this podcast here? Did you already do that one?
We haven't done The Running Man.
We will do Running Man. I guarantee you.
Yes,
you're down. Awesome. I'm excited for that.
I don't have anything. I don't have any hot takes on Running Man. Sorry.
Oh, I got him for days, man.
The director didn't have any takes
year,
on The Running Man.
The movie takes place in 2018, so just a few short years ago, Whitman, Price, and Haddad were basking under the Maui sun. Their debt to society paid in full.
You remember them? Whitman,
yes.
Price, and Haddad.
Last season's losers.
But also I just posted today a wonderful review on an amazing Don the Dragon Wilson film called Black Belt. And if you haven't gone to Tubi yet, go watch. I have no words. There's no words. The article is no words. That's it.
I've never seen a review with no words. I look forward to it.
It's just a picture. It's just your crying face. Oh, yeah. Oh, cool, dude.
That's it. That's the article review right there.
Just soul-crushing tears of joy.
Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah.
Well, you Fandom fans may want to tune in to Tuesday's Fear the Walking Dead reactor panel featuring our very own Governor Captain Kyle. And of course, we want you to tune in next Wednesday at 9 p.m. when we humbug Billy Bob Thornton style for our Bad Santa episode in week 2 of our 4 weeks of Christmas on VCR Redux. As always, if there's a particular movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode, let us know in the comment section on YouTube. And since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow Dairy Public Radio, Fandom Spotlight, Rick Barth and the Line, the Hollow Nine Network, and Pop Culture Punk. Till then, back up those Betamax, rewind those Laserdiscs, and we'll see you at the movies.
Docking forever.